Hello, everyone. Welcome to Experience Matters. I am super excited today. Uh, today's today's video, my opening video, was designed with a purpose, something that I had envisioned quite some time ago, and today's is a perfect example as to why I chose this intro video. Here I am sitting in Toronto, America, the customer experience personal branding guy sitting in Toronto, and across the universe, well, maybe not the universe, but on the opposite end of where I'm sitting in the future, 10 a.m. I believe it's 10 a.m. in
And I am.
Melbourne. Yeah. I have my friend Keith Keller, a global social audio specialist, joining me as my guest. I am humbled and I am honored to have you. Keith, welcome to my show. Why don't you give us a quick introduction, who you are, and what you're up to on LinkedIn?
Yeah. I am indeed in Melbourne, Australia, and it is 10 a.m. on a Thursday here. And we live in the future, and my show. We do a lot of shows together. I'm very, very, very excited to be on your show. Very excited. So I love social audio. I love the audio component, and I am the guy that is the advocate for everyone that doesn't want to put their video on. You're not alone. There's a few of us now, and I'm just going to go into bat for everyone who doesn't want to put in their or put on their video, right?
Hey,
So, yeah,
listen, it's something that I once was reluctant to do, go on camera, and the native audio rooms that we were all accustomed to was a great platform to meet people, have your voice heard. But then came video, and I stepped into it. Listen, 2025, I decided, America, you're going to be less of a keyboard warrior. Your passion at the keyboard may not be resonating as well as you are anticipating it is. And I felt, hey, this is a perfect time. LinkedIn has gotten rid of the rooms. So here I am bringing my audible presence, bringing my visual presence, and bringing my message to a platform, which, by the way, we're streaming not only on LinkedIn, but we're also streaming on YouTube today. So
yeah,
super
both of
excited
us.
that has grown, and it's
And
starting
look
to
at all
take.
the people calling in, man. Look, we've got all these people calling in. Hello, June and Gabby and David and
Look at that.
Jeremy and Marsha and Sue. So this is Social Audio 101, just in case you've never heard this phrase. This is why we do it. I'm in Melbourne, Australia. I live on my PC, and I've got a little studio out in the back of the house, and I just do these little radio shows on the internet. And now, I'm a guest on someone else's show. It's so cool.
Yeah, and let me tell you, just the sheer virtue of you and I meeting one another, you have opened doors for me. You have introduced me to professionals who have invited me to guest speak, and it's let me tell you, it's a feeling like no other to be able to have your voice heard, have yourself seen, and be remembered by people who, at one point were only within arm's reach of one
Yeah.
another.
Well, look, a very, very good example of this is that last week, I'm very proud of this, guys. I mean, I'm just going to shout out for this. Last week, you were interviewed in London, America, on a friend of mine's show with 30,000 followers, Tim
That's
Hughes.
right. That's
You
right.
were interviewed on his YouTube channel. Now, that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have this mutual respect for each other. And we're constantly, this is what social audio is. We're going to get to what it is in a minute, but this is an example of it playing out. You were on a show in London last week because of this random Aussie on the other side of the world who lives in the future.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I believe in that. I'm trying to resonate this message and have it amplify across my community that social audio, social events, LinkedIn, and just social platforms in general are being underutilized for their fullest capability, their fullest capacity. Uh, I talk to professionals, I talk to job seekers, and I try to help them improve their customer journey, their personal brand. And when I jump into their profile, I see, the furthest thing from what I thought I'd see. And it's about helping people rise to the occasion and make the most out of what's available, whether it's through social audio or whether it's through live on camera opportunities. Hey, it's incredible. Listen, we have Sue backstage who wants to join us. Why don't we bring Sue up on stage?
Well,
Sue,
hello, hello.
hello. Thanks for joining us. It is a pleasure to bring you on stage and join the conversation.
Well, always a pleasure to chat with you two gentlemen. I've learned so much from both of you. So, yeah, it's a real pleasure to be here.
I I understand that you and I still owe Keith a picture.
Keithy,
Uh,
you got to do a
Keithy,
Keithy.
we got to do a Keithy.
Yes, we're still working on that, Keith, but we're in the same city, so it'll happen.
Yeah.
It, so stay tuned. I know last week I also have a unveiling that I've committed myself to. I had Zakia on my show last week, and we were talking about e-commerce, and she extended an offer and wanted to send me a a sample of one of the products that she sells online. And in exchange, once I receive that, I am going to do an online unveiling of the product. So it's it just goes to show you how we can repurpose not only content but repurpose the amplification of one another and each other's communities and the products and services that we are selling and bringing to our communities, which kind of speaks to some of the talking points I'd like to address when it comes to different ideas that can help our community and the community at large. You know, we can come on here and we can have a talk show, and sometimes I feel I'm putting people to sleep, but there's the whole engagement that keeps me you know vibrant, keeps me optimistic and believing that I'm bringing some level, some degree of value. And I know yesterday, Keith, you and I, and you spoke about the whole talking to the rooster. What happens when we show up and we're the only voice and we feel like we're talking to ourselves? I'm a firm believer that as long as I'm bringing or believe that I'm bringing value and there's people engaging, whether it's live or on replays, I will continue to
Yeah.
bring my message. What
Indeed.
what can you share? I know that you bring so much educational value. You're in that tech space. You're the techie that people count on and rely on. And you kind of had me adopt and embrace. Hey, you know what? You got to be willing to
Yeah.
either suck at
I,
something,
I love this phrase. You've got to
right?
be willing to suck to get good. Now, look, not everyone is up for this, and it sounds almost counterintuitive. But what we did yesterday, I'm very proud of this because I had a bit of a rethink about my show. And I personally am not very good at talking to the wall, you know, doing a show and going, is there anyone there? Hello? Is there anyone there? What am I doing this for? And then I said jokingly, I might as well go out and talk to the rooster. I just said that like jokingly. Um, I might as well just go out and talk to the rooster because if I'm talking to the wall and I'm talking to YouTube and there's no one there, what's the point? Right. But guess what? After I sucked it up for about 3 minutes, people started coming because they saw that I was online and then they told their friends and, build it and they will come. And we actually ended up going for 3 hours, didn't we? Like
Yeah.
our show yesterday went for 3 hours because people would come in and go, mate, what's this talking to the rooster thing? You've got me intrigued now. What are you talking about? And I played a little sound and everyone got it. You know, have you ever been in that environment where this is very, very, very important if you want to start your own show and you're a bit scared? Like I'm going to do a whole teaching on this. I might even turn this into a course. Have you ever been in a position you go, oh, look, I don't want to do it because what if no one listens? Well, what happens if I'm just talking to myself? I might as well just go out in the backyard and talk to the birds,
Hey,
which I
well,
have done because I can speak. Yeah, look, I know you're hungry, but look, haven't got anything for you now, but I'll get something after the show. Okay, can you hurry up, please? Because I'm very, very hungry. Right? I do a pretty good magpie, so and I can speak to the magpies, and they speak back, and that's what it feels like when you're looking at the screen and there's no one there, and you got to
well,
have the courage to do that for a while, and then you find your community, you build your strength, and then suddenly you're a bit of a dude. And this is what's happening to you, America, isn't it? You've been interviewed in London. I'm introducing you to all these really cool people, and you're going to go on their show, and they're coming on your show, and you're building it, aren't you?
yeah, absolutely. And you talk about the whole rooster metaphor, but you had me thinking yesterday after we went off the air. I jumped in and checked. Let's bring this screen up here. I bring up some of my previous shows who, traditionally have been averaging between 25 and 30 registrants. And at any given time, maybe half of those people show up live and others engage in replay. But it's the views that I'm getting afterwards that is keeping me motivated. So one of these three, like the one on the bottom, has 319 views. I was a guest speaker at that one, and I host the other two. And despite having what we feel is a small audience, the people are always looking. Hey, if we look at our television viewing experience and our streaming viewing experience, we may not have the opportunity to show up live, but here's now a new choice, a new option that our community members have, that they can now go back at their leisure
Yeah.
and replay and pick out whatever value they see.
Yeah.
Some might stick for the 60 minutes, some might, skim through it and find a nugget of information that to take away. And that's fine. And I like the fact that these replays and that LinkedIn is providing this data because it keeps me inspired.
And is this your LinkedIn page or is this your YouTube account?
This is from my LinkedIn page. So my YouTube channel is new, so the views haven't started growing at this pace.
I haven't seen this. Where do you get this information? This is pretty cool.
So if you go into the events tab in your LinkedIn profile, the events tab, if you scroll down, you can see all your events that you've hosted and the views that you have.
Ah, wow. Okay, I'll do that. But,
You can download the people that have actually registered for the event too, which is kind of neat. And the clients that I have that are going live, they actually get more on replay than they do. I mean, so your most popular ones, you might want to start sharing out again, because people don't always think to go to your channel, but and that's what we've been doing. It's kind of like keeping the evergreen ones and just we don't have content. Okay, this is a good day to share this again. It's amazing how many pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's a great point. I find myself today not having the same level of anxiety of trying to come up with content, because every show you're either going to pick something up from a listener who drops in a comment, from a guest speaker who brings additional value, and we've learned from connections of ours, Molia and Zakia, for those who aren't following, they opened my eyes to the opportunities of repurposing a few weeks back on one of Keith's shows.
Yeah, sorry,
I think the coolest thing, and I really encourage anyone who comes on our shows to do this. The coolest thing about the repurposing, this is the coolest thing, is when someone else does it. And what I mean by that, it's not just because I'm lazy. It's because if someone else picks up the content and uses all of their magical skills and using all the tech they have that we probably don't have. I've had articles written about me using tech I've never heard of. And then suddenly I've had this actually happen while the show was on. several people have written articles while they were on the show. And by the time the show was finished, the article was written and posted, ready to go.
Hmm.
And
AI.
that's what we call user-generated content, right? So someone comes on my show, gets so inspired by a couple of key phrases, punches it into Perplexity or Pi or ChatGPT or Copilot or the 16 million other AI tools that are now available. And suddenly, by the time you finished your show, the people on the show have already written an article, included you in it, punched out some highlights, and you're still talking. I love it. Like I
Yeah.
just love it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the repurposing component is the gun. It's the point, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting examples. Guy has just dropped. Here's an example of a video ad that, but I know audio will bring value as well as advertising blend. 4,100 video views, 11 hours of watch time. So, it's here to stay. If you ask me whether it is audio or it is video, um, this is content that people consume by the boatloads, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I know yesterday, Keith, you, I don't know if it was as much of a prediction as it was just speculative thinking that perhaps audio might kind of fizzle out. I don't think so. There's plenty of room for different variations of content. I think audio is alive and well and not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think the main thing that I love about the audio component is that the sense of I won't say anonymity because that's not necessarily the case because we can see you, but because you don't have to show your camera, you don't have to be. I personally don't want to go on camera anymore. I've done it. I can do it. I did it for 2 years during the pandemic, but I don't enjoy it, and I don't really want to do it anymore. But I still have something to say. So when I go on camera, when I go on people's shows, and when they come on my shows, this idea that my wisdom is not diminished because you can't see my face. This is a very, very interesting point. It's quite debatable, and I know a lot of people disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm up for that. But I love the idea that I can just sort of chat, do my thing. One of the things I love about social audio, this is the fundamental reason I do it. I don't have to look at a screen and look pretty all the time, which means at the moment, right at this second, I'm doing a screenshot of what we're doing. I'm editing it and I'm sending it to everyone on the call. Uh, I'm doing the USG right now. I'm creating content in the backstory while the show is live. I'm not waiting till afterwards. I'm here right now creating content while we're here. And that will become content that we'll be able to share as soon as the show finishes and we're not talking anymore. But I can't do that if I'm looking at a screen.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the one thing that I like more about social audio than I do about live is the fact that when I'm live and I watch my replay, because there's so much going on, I feel like when I look at myself and I play back that video, I seem distracted. But it's not intentional because I'm looking at a monitor, trying to bring someone on stage, trying to switch studio scenes and bring different graphics on. Uh, but I'm not looking at my audience. I feel like I'm not talking to my audience. Where social audio, I can be multitasking and be just as effective as when I'm on camera, but my audience's experience is different. They no longer have that
Doesn't
perception
it
that
look?
I'm
Don't
distracted.
don't
Yeah.
you think it looks really, really, really terrible when you see someone and they're looking at the screen and they're looking over here and they got six screens going? They go, "Hello, everyone on Instagram. Hello, hello, people on TikTok. I can see you. Hello, people on Pinterest. I got you down there. And hello, people on Reddit. I haven't forgotten about you either." You think, well, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to them? Are you talking to us? Can't you just focus for a bit?
Yeah, and
I actually find those sort of streams very annoying.
yeah, and I purposely like aware of that, and I'm trying to tweak and refine the experience that I provide my audience. I no longer purposely I no longer keep my LinkedIn feed on my mobile device or on what other platforms I might be streaming because I'll get distracted. How many people are watching? And I know that this is something we spoke about yesterday. It frustrates us as creators to see, all right, is there anyone online? Is there not? Okay, there's one person online. There's two people online, but who are they? If they don't comment, you don't know. And then that whole distraction piece ties into the experience that you're delivering. And if the more you feel distracted, your audience is going to feel that as well. So I've eliminated that. I just have my studio up. I have my LinkedIn feed in the event that I need to jump in and paste the studio link for people to join us. But I got the overlay on. I can see the chat, and I've made a commitment to myself, even though I'm able to multi-stream on 3 platforms. I'm limiting myself to 2. I'm talking to my LinkedIn community. That's where I'm most prominent. And my YouTube community is there for the team replay. I create my playlists. I know it goes there automatically. I have my chat on, so if in the event someone is engaging and interacting from YouTube, I'll be able to see that.
Okay.
It's for me, it's all
And
about trying to minimize the distractions.
can you see this is just in case you don't know what we're doing here? I as the guest, not the host, I as the guest have sent this file to LinkedIn and to YouTube. And if you can see in the actual comments, there's a purple note that says paired. What that means is someone has come to the call other than a guest of the host, right? As a person that knows the host. So either Sue or myself have sent this to somewhere else, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, etc. And those people, and you can see the little IN, meaning those people have come from LinkedIn, but they're not related to Americo. Now, this is very, very cool because what that means is as Americo is joining in, he's saying, look at all these people joining. I don't even know who they are. I mean, I don't even know these people yet. So if you have really cool guests, each of those guests can send their files to up to 3 places. And you can have 10 guests, which means we can send the file to 10 places.
Yeah, and in essence, what are we doing? We're building community. And I know that you quoted in one of your posts leading up to the show, social audio fosters a sense of community, allowing for real-time interactions. And here we are. These are real-time interactions. You've brought your audience to my show, and likewise, we're all able to bring our own audience when we're guest speakers on each other's shows. And that community building is instrumental. Whether you're in sales, whether you're, if you're just trying to build a personal brand, you want to be seen, you want to be heard, and you want to be recognized and remembered. This is a great platform and a great medium to do it. Posting might get you some traction, and some of us are better than others when it comes to posting. But I think, hands down, this is the best alternative to gain and grow and nurture our communities.
Guy's just asked a question there. That's very, very interesting, Guy. I'm following you, but we are not connected together. So I'd love to. If you follow me back, I'll send you a screenshot. What happens here? Hello, Lisa. Lisa is calling in from Washington State. That's pretty cool. WA. She could be in Western Australia. You never know. She might have zipped over to Western Australia, but I'm guessing that's Washington. So what we see here on our dashboard you got to do this just to have a look at the dashboard. It's amazing tech. We see that everyone's coming in on as paired content. So I'll share. I'll send you a screenshot of this guy. You need to follow me for me to do that. But hello, Lisa. Jump in and tell us what you're doing if you can. We can have 10 guests. I'm
Hey,
taking over. It's not my show. I've got to sit back. I'm the guest.
it's all good. Here, I'm going to drop the link in case anyone wants to join us. We got, as you said, we got room for 10. Let's bring people up. I'm happy. Um, and Guy, you're open to being a guest speaker, and I'm also open to bringing you on board. I know that you and I believe we're following each other. Let's get connected. Let's jump on a call and let's make that happen. Lisa, okay, we're gonna find out is Lisa. I'm gonna look her up and see if she is Western Australia or if she is Washington State.
She's in Kennewick, Washington.
Oh yeah, looked her up already. Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. Hey, look at what we're doing. We're bringing our personal brands to a group, and we're now engaging and interacting with one another, which is really something that I find fascinating, and I find we don't do enough of on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Right? Uh, we're not here pitching anything. We're all professionals, and we all have value that we bring. But here is an opportunity to create that sense of community. And some of us might resonate with what we do professionally. And after the show, we're going to reach out to one another and say, hey, I'd love to come on your show and I'd love to share a little bit about what I'm doing. Or perhaps, hey, I think there's an opportunity to collaborate. I'd love to maybe dive in and explore opportunities where we might be able to work together. And that's what I want to do for the community. I kind of split myself in terms of who my ideal customer is, and having been a hiring manager, there's always a part of me that wants to lead, support, and develop people, especially in the open to work community. Listen, I like many others. I'm not here asking for people to feel sorry for me. The reality is, the the economic landscape and the job market has been pretty volatile, up and down. I got laid off 3 times in the last 6 years, and I decided, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to pivot. But how can I give back to my community? How can I help those who are looking to grow their audience and nurture their community? How can I help them be seen, be heard, and be remembered by my members? And this gets contagious. I didn't realize how giving and how philanthropic LinkedIn was. I've always envisioned, when I was employed, I always envisioned LinkedIn as being the professional version of Facebook. People would put up work anniversaries, promotions, certifications. Hey, look at me! I'm at a networking event, and that's all I thought LinkedIn was for. It was a recruiting platform, and it's the furthest thing from what it really is.
Well, I'll give you a really good example. I want to do this for everyone here. I do 3 shows a week. And I'm not going to talk too much about that. I just want to put this as a concept. Now, because I do 3 shows a week and America often comes on my show, here I am on his show. That's it. That's how it happened. That's exactly what happened. When America comes on my show, we're having fun. He goes, mate, I've got a show. Can you come on my show? Yeah, of course. No worries. Put it out there. So we reciprocate. So I do 3 shows a week. If you want to come on my show, please yell out because I do 3 shows. I'm looking for people. And if you have a show, yell out because I'm looking for people. I want to go on your show. I want to help you out. So it's reciprocal, isn't it? And this is a very good example of what social audio is. We have been on each other's shows now. Isn't this just cool?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't speak enough about how much this has changed my life. It may not seem like much, but it's given me a whole fresh perspective on how to appreciate and leverage social media. Because listen, if I got a face for radio, I can't go on social platforms dancing my mankini and get millions of impressions, right? That ship has sailed. So I got to find different ways to to get the attention from the people that I want to gain attention from.
Can you send this is what I've just done here is exactly why I'm doing this. I'm not on screen, so I'm frantically working in the background. Can you send Lisa a link to the show? You
Yeah.
may have already done
I
that.
did
If you have,
already. I sent a link to both of them in the comments. And I think what might be happening is when they click on it, the link gets broken. You know how it only maybe takes part of it?
Yeah.
So they might have to copy and paste it to get the
Yeah.
link to work.
Quite possible. I've um, I've dropped it in once again as well in the chat, and the second one, the most recent one that I put in is a different appears to have a different URL. So copy and paste the most recent one. Lisa, if we're not connected, just send me a connection request and I'll drop it in the DM for you as well, and we'll get you on stage. Guy, same thing. If I believe we're just following each other, send me a connection request, and I will drop the link in your DM, and we'll bring you on stage and continue this conversation. Um, all right, so let's talk a little bit about uh, what social audio can do for someone in terms of thought leadership. Oh, I hear a click. Hold on a second. Let's see who's knocking.
Bing. It's a
It's
little sound we hear in our ears going, "Hey, there we are. There's someone
it's
here."
Lisa. There we are. Lisa, welcome to the stage.
How come I'm on camera? No one else is on camera.
Well, today we are doing social audio, so we are an off-camera event. You're welcome to stay on camera. You're welcome to turn off your camera and add your avatar, uh, whatever you feel comfortable with. Uh, Keith and I did agree that we were going to change it up, and we were going to host, or I was going to host this show in Keith's favorite format, social audio off camera. But welcome. Is there something you'd love to share that with our audience? Lisa,
Some dance fives.
An entertainer.
you want to be the entertainment? All right. Then feel free to entertain. All right. So let's talk about the thought leadership and how, from an audible experience and from a video, a live experience, how thought leadership is different than someone who just types in their comments and shares their thought leadership through words.
I would love to say, I'm hearing it twice. One, can you hear me better now? I had it broadcasting in the background.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. That's better with just one broadcast. Anyhow, hey everyone, I'm a high performance executive coach. I'm in Washington State where it's currently starting to get warmer. And I moved here from California. So I like helping people perform better in all areas of their lives. But I'm not here for a pitch fest. I'm just here to say hi. I'm not here to sell anything. I just like community and meeting people in real life.
Fantastic. I appreciate that you didn't turn this into a pitch fest. That is great. We are happy to have you, and feel free to join in the conversation. And once again, if you feel awkward being the only one on camera, feel free to turn off the camera and add an avatar and join the social audio experience. So I was just talking about thought leadership and how it may differ uh, on a social audio event, a video live stream event, compared to comments that are just typed in and shared with on posts.
I'm anxious to learn more about it because typically I do maybe one live video a week if I'm in town, and I'd love to expand into this audio sector.
Fantastic. Well, then, if you haven't, you got to join Keith's shows because he's a master at it, and I would consider him my mentor. Of course, he's got years of experience in the radio business, so um, he can do this with his eyes closed. Keith,
Oh, yeah.
would you like to jump in and share your thoughts, or Sue, on the whole thought leadership
Yeah.
piece?
Let's start with this idea. Why don't we try to get Lisa to add her avatar? I know it's a very interesting paradigm. We are now in a video focused environment, and it feels in some ways like we've made a step back, but I'm actually going to make a step sideways. In a way, Americo, picking up on this, I'm going to lead a thought leadership discussion on the idea that what if you don't want to put your video on? What if you don't want to? Is that okay? And I'm going to be the guy that puts his hand up and wraps my arm around you to say, you know what? I'm with you, buddy. I am with you. So my shows, which I do 3 a week, are audio only experiences, and I'm brutal on that because I want to be the protector of the people. So if thought leadership for me is the idea that I've picked my niche. I've got a webcam. I've got a decent face. I know how to shave fur off. I mean, I know how to do it. I just don't like shaving. I just don't want to do it. I know how to shave. I just can't be bothered.
Well, I'm going to make myself into an avatar. If I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Can you? Can you? I mean, basically, what you do is you turn your video off and you go to the edit avatar button, and it'll ask you for a picture of yourself that you've got on your hard drive, and if you're on your phone. And in a way, it's like a masterclass in this process.
So in the top right hand corner, you're going to see the 3 dots, or as some people refer to as the hamburger menu. If you click the 3 dots, it will give you the option to change your avatar.
That's right. So the first step is that you get your initial. That's pretty cool, and then you get the 3 dots, and then you're actually you get an opportunity to go to your hard drive or your phone and get a photo that you like of you in a semi-professional way. And Joe yesterday had a lot of trouble with this. So it might be something that we need to sort of do a bit of a class on. So because we're talking about the power of social audio, I think it's great that we have this discussion because Lisa's quite a good. There it is. There we go. See how that changes the vibe? That just gives everyone's even now. This is what I want to. This is actually what I want to do with my shows, and what this is my brand, if you like. I want to be the guy that teaches this. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you want to do it, I know a lot about it, and I want everyone to be equal. You don't have to put your video on, and no one gets an advantage by having their video on. Like everyone is equal, like we're all in the same team. And there it is. And Joe was saying he's got a browser conflict. But what do you think? What do you think, Lisa? Do you like the idea of exploring an audio only idea, or does that feel odd?
no, I think it's great. I think that video is obviously quite popular, and it's always nice to buck the trend and do something engaging like this. I like the way you can engage people from sharing your audiences, because I saw it was live. I just happened to be tuning into LinkedIn to reply to some comments, and you've been telling me about this for so long. I thought, well, maybe now's the time to jump in.
And I mean, this is actually one of the things I love about it, Americo, the discoverability.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
because I've sent it to YouTube and LinkedIn, and I've got a bit of a following on both. And you sent it to LinkedIn and YouTube, and so did Sue and possibly Lisa. We've now multiplied our reach by 8 times. And we can actually, if we do this really, really well, multiply it by 30 times, because each person can send this file to 3 places and we can have 10 people. So imagine if we really optimize this, and let's try to do this one day, America. Imagine if you optimized it and you had 10 people on stage and they were all sending it to 3 places. We'd reach 1 million people.
Imagine
You'd
that.
have to reach at least 1 million people, wouldn't
That would be a great problem to have.
you? Great problem to have, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm open to both. You know, the whole video kind of I had to grow into it, but now I have no problems coming on camera, off camera. I just appreciate it for the value that it offers, not only my audience, but myself and the entire community. And to your point, we now have reached out and we're sharing on multiple layers. So here's a great time, a great opportunity, if you haven't already, to network and build and nurture your community by reaching out to people who have joined this conversation, have dropped comments. Now's a great time to reach out. You know, we're not just here to answer questions. We're here to bring value to
Yeah.
one another. And uh, I've already walked away, and I'm kind of sketching here some ideas, something that I've learned. Hey, there's some educational content that I can now build into future content, and I'm sure you're doing the same. And anyone who uh, considers themselves, I would say, I'm a ultra or micro. Uh, I wouldn't call myself an influencer by any means, but a micro creator. And my community is small, but if I look at where I was a year ago and even 2 years ago, I was a community of 2,500, and those 2,500 were people who I've worked with over the years, and that's that whole Facebook vibe, that whole family. Hey, these are the yearbook feeling. You're celebrating moments in your professional career and your professional journey with people who have been along your side. And now that I've added and grown this community, I'm getting more value, and not to discredit the friendships that I've built with the first 2,500, but I'm getting more value, more educational content, more sense of community, and great thought leadership from complete strangers, or what starts as complete strangers at opposite ends of the earth and this globe. And we're all coming together. And here we are on my show. I couldn't be happier, more proud than right now. And I bring with each show the best version of myself. And I know these are going to get better. These are going to get more engagement. And I'm loving what is happening right now. I can't begin to tell you how humble I feel right now.
Why don't we try an experiment? I would love. This is a very key point as to why I don't put my video on. I want everyone in the room, everyone on stage, and everyone at home to think of a way to promote this show and America. Now, the way you could do this is by taking a screenshot and writing a blog post about this. You could take a screenshot and use ChatGPT to write the blog post for you. So I don't know all the variations, but what I have noticed is that people are creating content from content rather than creating content from a standing start and what's in my brain today. And geez, I've got to come up with a video by 10 o'clock and I got nothing to say. I better have a run. I'll go for a run. I'll see if I'll go to the pool. I have a swim. I'm sure you've all been in this position where you just have writer's block. But we've got 4 people on stage now sharing the love. The content's right here.
Yeah,
All you have to do is
absolutely.
pick it up and massage it. So,
Yeah.
how do you massage this content, mate? How do you repurpose it? Let's have a discussion about repurposing
Hey,
this content.
I like to refer to it as refinement because when I reach out, when I put my sales hat on and I'm doing outreach and I'm trying to bring my value and solve problems that other businesses or professionals might have or might not know they have, it uh, it comes off as, hey, yeah, this is cold outreach or warm outreach, but whatever it is, it sounds expensive. Not everything needs to be expensive. And here's a perfect example, just with content. Not everything needs to be new. Not everything needs to be reinvented or constructed. You can just refine what you have and share, do a little bit of storytelling, share your narrative. Hey, I joined, whether it's this show or Keith's show or any other show, other event, and share your narrative. What was your experience like on that show? What did you gain from it? What did you learn from it? And you'd be surprised. People want that level of authenticity. Now, to answer your question in terms of how do I repurpose? Hey, I'm now editing and chopping up um, sound bites. We're going to be talking uh, for an hour, and at the end of that hour, there are going to be moments that I'm going to take away from here, and they're going to be 30-second moments, maybe 90-second moments. But because I've learned that my community, all great people, may not have 60 minutes to give me at some given time, I can take 60 seconds out of this 1 hour conversation and redistribute that into my feed and say, hey, here's something to ponder. And
Yeah,
it's yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask everyone. I'm going to give you some ideas. So here's a really cool idea. Like, I don't know if you're doing this, but I do this almost every day now. So there's a really cool feature on Google Notebook, which turns a written document into a radio interview. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's bloody brilliant. So you just basically type up or get ChatGPT to type up the highlights as you understand them, feed it into Google Notebook, and within 5 minutes, there's this cool dude going, "Hey, just heard there's this guy from Australia talking today. What a winner!" And he's mate Americo from Canada and Sue and Lisa and all these other cool people. They were on this show, and what they were talking about. And then there's a girl talking. She goes, "Well, tell me more about that, Joe." Yeah, well, it was a really cool show, and they go about 5 minutes, and it simulates a conversation on breakfast radio. Sounds very, 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 very authentic. Now, this show goes for an hour, but this audio goes for 5 minutes. If you don't have the hour to watch the video, you can listen to the audio, and you get the goss, you get the essence. Have you tried this, America? Have you tried
I
this?
I have tried it. I have uploaded um, in a couple of instances. I've uploaded what you're referring to, and yes, I liked it. I may have done it maybe at a time where people were sitting on the fence on the whole AI generated content. But hey, it, it's not it's how can I rephrase this? It is AI generated, but it's still authentic. It's still my content. It's still our conversation. It isn't fabricated from scratch by AI. It's repurposed. So
Thanks,
I'm going to
Jeffrey.
give it another try.
You want to jump in, Lisa? Do you try this? Have you tried it?
I haven't tried Google as at the LLM notebook in a little while, but I think that's a wonderful idea. I just think I would love to speak a little bit as a thought leader and a content creator about how stressful it used to be for me to come up with topics for the week of content and all kinds of stuff. Since I've become so well versed in AI, it really is game changer. It really, to me, is about the quality of the prompts you're using and the different kinds of content you can create. Let's say repurposing is a great idea. Also, across different platforms, just taking the content and repurposing it, creating a slider or creating a quick video or whatever, newsletters, things like that. I think it's a game changer for me. What do you guys think?
Just tell us, because I know and I want to hear you say it. Just tell me how much time you're saving. Like, it's a miracle, isn't it?
It is such a game changer, but it's almost like I feel like I have a personal assistant that doesn't call in sick. It works for me whenever I want, and if it gets tired, I can go away from ChatGPT over to Google Gemini, and those are two that I really like right now. but I have used Claude, and that's a wonderful one. I just didn't have the paid version, so it was always like only limited in how much it would help me. And I have the paid version of ChatGPT, so for me, it's a game changer. I utilize it every single day, all day, and it's made me a better decision maker, more creative, and able to delegate more. So that how much is it? I'd say it's a 10x on productivity.
Oh, it's at least 10x, isn't it? Because if you take the example of Google Notebook, which is not me speaking, I know how long it takes to edit videos and audios because I used to do that. And it takes hours and hours and hours out of my day. Whereas I can just punch in a document with 100 words, and in 5 minutes, I've got a document that sounds like two people talking about us on a radio show in the US. Now, it's not me speaking, but it saves me about 3 hours of work. And I'm so inspired by this. I actually created a playlist of 19 of these moments, go for 2 hours, and they're highlights of shows I've been on. It's
Wow.
just bloody brilliant.
It's a game changer, and it's not the final word. I think where people get in trouble legally and copyright wise is if you just copy and paste things word for word. I think it's an assistant that you can co-create with, but you don't have to necessarily copy and paste every single thing they say.
I've used Google Notebook LM a lot, and I think it's really great for repurposing. I've been training online since 1997 or 8, so I have so much video footage. And recently, I've decided that I'm going to go through this stuff. And I found this tool, this Notebook LM. I just kind of stumbled upon it, which is weird because I love all things Google. And I love the fact that you can go in and say, go into my Google Drive and, give me a list, summarize list all the documents I have that talk about websites and summarize what's in it. So all of a sudden you can see all the handouts that you've done in the past, all the PowerPoints that you've done, the slides, websites. You can add, or you can put in docs from text. You can put in your website to give it context, and you can also add videos with a YouTube thing. So it's really handy to kind of repurpose. I think it's one of the best tools because so now you've got all these presentations that have, at least in my case, because of the training, you have all these presentations that have been kind of slightly different for every group, but now you can take the best parts out of them and repurpose it, and you'll actually create it, and you can recreate a presentation in short order. Ask it to improve it. The AI side, and like America was saying, it's your content, so it's not like you're it's your content. It's just helping you. So you can edit it. You can say, what might I be missing? Where are the gaps? You can say, turn it into a video interview, like Keith said. And then there's two commentators. Now, with that said, I have noticed a few problems with that where it doesn't quite get it right. But I mean, like anything AI, I think we have to kind of it's a tool, is what it is. It's not. It still needs an editor, right?
The
So
human element, it definitely needs a human touch.
yeah, I think quality control is going to become a new skill because honestly, proofing I mean, we've all become, journalists to a certain extent, right?
Right.
But, I don't know how the teachers are going to do it because honestly, like you could theoretically go out looking, you could click on discover sources and find everything you wanted to know about websites and use other people's content as well. And so, I mean, the
Let me
tools are
just
just
pick up on what
so
you're saying
good.
there. Let me just pick
What's
up on what
that?
you're saying. Merico, this is a miracle. Like this is a brand new feature of Google Notebook.
Mhm.
Google Notebook now has this discover button. This is unbelievable. Like this is unbelievable. So instead of typing in a content that they want to do, you just push in something like, tell me about podcasting. Discover and it chews on it for about 5 minutes, and it gives you about 16 references, right, about podcasting. And then you push a button that says turn it into an interview. And then these people refer to this document and go, oh, look, I was reading this document from TechCrunch, and they said that if you use a Rode NT1 in conjunction with a Focusrite Scarlett Pro, then you're going to get that really sort of Joe Rogan sound. And I reckon I might try that. Right. And we don't even know what they're talking about, but they actually scoured the internet. They scour the internet and find all of this great material that we don't even know exists yet, turns it into a document, and then we put it out. Now we gotta fact check that. We gotta fact check that. And if you don't know what you're talking about, I wouldn't recommend sending it out. But you never know. Some of this stuff is genius. I mean, I do know that the Focusrite does work quite well with a Rode NT1. I'm not making that up. But if you have never heard of those phrases, I wouldn't recommend, talking about it unless you've tried it. So it is a fantastic research tool. Like it's off the charts. And this is brand new, this particular Discover button. Have you been using this, Sue? Have you been using the Discover button in Google Notebook? Wow.
Sue?
So exciting.
Yes, I do. Sorry, I was on mute. I do. I use it every day. It's like I'm a research hound, and I just sent Americo. I just put in there Discover, and I said, "Tell me about Americo," and I sent him in the chat exactly what it said. So it's really quite interesting. So yeah, it's an amazing tool, and there are so many, but this one is like all things Google are awesome, I think. Except for G plus.
Yeah.
And what about Google Plus? That's another one gone. That's another one gone. Remember Google Plus?
We had David join us on stage. David, I muted you on purpose because there was a humming sound that was coming in. But if you would like to join us back on stage and you'd like to ask a question or just share some value yourself, you're welcome to join us back on stage. We are nearing the top of the hour, and I may break a record here and go over 60 minutes for anyone who wants to continue this conversation. It is, here he is. Let's bring David back in. David, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. Good evening, everyone.
You're breaking up very, very choppy. I couldn't make out what you said after good evening, everyone.
I think you have to be on a laptop maybe for better sound.
Good. I'm good.
Yeah, sorry, David. It's not you're not coming through. It's very, very grainy, very very choppy. Now that waterfall sound is gone. I don't know if you want to give it another go. All right, well, let's continue while David sorts his audio out. We've had quite a few people join the conversation. I know that a lot of chat and comments and questions have been coming through, and I try to stay on top of all of them, and I think I may have missed a few along the way. So rest assured, if there were questions in there, I'm sure that I know that you're going to hear from me. You'll get a response from me. Those who are on stage, I welcome each of you to chime in and share your thoughts and add whatever value to the questions that are being asked. I know this is time consuming, but if you have time to answer some of our guests' questions, by all means, I'm sure they will be grateful for for your thoughts and your insight.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm not going to stay much longer, but I'll do this again sometime and figure out a topic we could all do thought leadership again.
Yeah, fantastic. Listen, Lisa, we're not connected. I've sent you a connection request,
Cool.
and I know there's a few people who have suggested or requested to come on our shows. Feel free, send me a DM, send me an invite, join my community, and we'll find ways to get your voice and your, whether you choose voice or video, we'll make sure that we get you seen, heard, and remembered.
Wow. Thanks, guys. Right back at you. I have a podcast too, so we can all do that. And nice to meet everyone in your audience and all of you guys. Nice to see you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Keith, Sue,
Nice meeting you.
thank you very much. I had a fantastic hour. I know I had some speaking notes, but with most shows, if not every show, my speaking notes usually get put to the wayside because we just have natural conversation, and I think that is by far better. It's genuine, it's authentic, and it doesn't feel scripted, which is how I prefer to do it. But you always got to be prepared for that dead air and that whole rooster effect that Keith has introduced us to.
Indeed. That's
Listen,
awesome.
Keith, you're my guest of honor. I can't thank you enough for bringing your presence, your knowledge, your support, and your audience along for the hour. I look forward to continuing and nurturing this relationship. And anytime, you are welcome back on the show.
Well, tell us you do 4 shows. Tell us the format of your show. How many do you do, and what are they about? Because I'll definitely come back.
All right. So thanks for asking. I host 4 shows in total. I try to go live twice a week and spread it out. So I have 4 different subject matters to try to engage different um, demographics and different personas that lay within my community. So I got this Experience Matters, and it's all about customer experience, personal branding, and it's tied directly to my business brand. I also host on Thursdays, uh, co-host with Shelly Spence, LinkedIn Literacy, and that's my philanthropic way of giving back to people who are struggling on LinkedIn. You hear and we share stories of what we've been through, our personal advice, and we all know if we ask 10 different people the same question, we'll probably have 10 different variations, but you get to hear my variation of how my struggles and tribulations on LinkedIn have rewarded me, as well as my co-host Shelly. I then host the strategy session, which is a little bit of a digital marketing spin uh, with a touch of customer experience, and how do you balance marketing and the whole personal branding and customer experience piece. Then I tie it all together with the storytelling journey, co-hosted with Jay Pasqua, and that's simply helping professionals control, learn, and improve and master the narrative of and storytelling. And Jay's a fantastic co-host. He's authored a book dedicated to storytelling. So the four the 4 subject matters all come together and kind of touch each other within arm's reach, and it's 4 different platforms that allows my community to interact, intertwine, and try to pick up valuable pieces along the way. Um, I try to balance it so that some are hosted during the day and some are hosted during the evening hours here in Eastern Time Zone, so that I can capture most or optimize the time zones in which my community resides in. But this whole replay feature has really helped grow my audience, as I've demonstrated earlier. How many more replay views I'm getting than live views.
Yeah, I've got to check on that. I don't even. I'm going to check on that after the show. What happened, America? You'll love this. Sue has used Google Notebook while we've been speaking, and she's created a mind map which we can share and read out. And then she sent that to Google Notebook audio generator, and it's created that interview. So tell me, what are the main points we've touched on? I'm going to read them out for you. How did you do it for all those that want to do it? You know, the benefits of business using it, best social audio apps, key considerations, and you created all of that as a mind map in Google Notebook, didn't you?
Yeah, so it was actually really quick and really easy. You open up Google Notebook LM, and then you create a new note. And I did discover, and I put in social audio. I used quotes so that I would get that as a phrase. It then provided me with 9 sources, and a short summary. So I looked at the summary and thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I asked to provide some key excerpts from the provided sources, and to quote the sources. And what I should have done is actually for credits, I should have put it in a credit form. But anyways, um, because whenever you use anybody's content, you really need to give them credit. And then there's a button at the bottom that allows you to turn that into a mind map. So I clicked the button, and that's how I got the graphic. The other thing you could do is what you referred to, Keith, and that was to click on the audio overview. So when I clicked on that, it took about maybe about a minute to create it, and it's an audio interview of 2 people talking about the content, and that's kind of cool. They kind of like raise these people up as they're doing it. I mean, it's kind of neat. You can also do a single voice. You can do it as a study guide. You can do a briefing doc. You can look at a timeline. You can look at frequently asked questions. So you can see how this, like content, even just from a content creation point of view, is fabulous. But I mean, it doesn't really matter what you want to get good at. This is the tool that just makes that easy. So if you like researching, I'm sorry, but you're about to get addicted.
I think I might set a challenge. I'd love this. My highest score so far is 5 pieces of content from one show. Right?
Wow.
Let's set an intention. 5 pieces of content that I didn't create. 5.
Well, I'll send you off what I've created.
That's right.
I'll share it with you.
Sue has
Yeah.
created an interview. I've
Mhm.
created screenshots. Let's
Mhm.
see how many people can use tech. And this is a very good use case for what we're doing. We've chatted for 1 hour. Let's see how much content we can create from this mutually beneficial wisdom lounge. I just made that up, the wisdom lounge.
There you go.
And welcome to the wisdom lounge. So imagine if you created this sort of content. We've talked for 1 hour. I mean, but look at all that we talked about. And each one has a different take on what was said, and we hear the words differently, and we draw on different experiences. Let's see if we can get to 10 pieces of content from the 1 hour. I've created screenshots. Sue's got
I've got 6 pieces of content. No, I've got 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 myself.
There it is. See? Bingo. And we have a winner. So, Erica, what a good idea. We'll empower our audience to create content on the back of what we've done. That takes all the load of us having to do the replays and edit them and make a blog. You know, other people would have got great value from this that we don't even know, because they hear the words differently. Their experiences are different. There's so much that I talk about that I take for granted because I've been doing this since 2006. So I don't even hear the words anymore. Oh, yeah, and you're just talking about marketing funnels again. I heard that one. But if you've never heard of a marketing funnel, well, mate, back up. Come on, back up. Just take me back to that one. Let's get dirty on that. So everyone hears the tech differently, hears the words differently, based on their level, based on their experience, where they are in their journey, which is what you talk about, isn't it? Journey logic.
Yep.
So I'm setting an intention: 10 pieces of content. Let's go. Yeah.
Fantastic. Challenge accepted. Uh,
If you
to,
choose to accept it.
I'm going to share my notebook in the event so that you can all jump on and get that content. And you'll need a Google account to do it. But you'll be able to see all the content that was created in like just a short time. So anyways, hope you enjoy. Mariko, thanks for having me on. Keith, you're amazing. I love, this is really great. And I'd love to go on your list. We share a passion for marketing, and we are going to get Keith a Keithy. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, we'll get a Keithy.
We'll have to get a Keithy. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I apologize though. I haven't followed up for a lunch date because honestly, I just onboarded a couple of clients and I'm just buried. But but if you're out this way, then that's easy because I can always stop for a coffee. Anyways, thank you so much. This was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you, Keith, and everyone who stuck it out through the hour. Those who haven't, but I appreciate whatever time you've given the show. If we're not connected, and if you're not connected with any of my guests here, feel free. I encourage not only to write and regenerate new content from today's conversation, but reach out to these two wonderful professionals. You'll be happy that you did. All right, so we went over the hour, which is I know you're just getting started, Keith.
I'm just warming up, man. My highest score, I'm just letting you know, my highest score is 6 hours, 600 people live on the show. That's my highest score. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that.
And those are numbers to be proud of. How you did the 6 hours, I don't know.
It's bloody hard, isn't it? It's hard.
I know that I constantly hydrate because just flapping my gums dries out my throat. So how you went for 6 hours, kudos to you, my friend.
Yeah, I bounce. Like, I don't actually do most of the talking. As you can see, we were just in the background. What we did today, and I'm going to let you go now because it is 9 p.m. there. What we did today is proof of why social audio works. Because I wasn't labored by having my video on, which is a labor, it's an effort, takes a lot of my energy. I could spend that energy on creating I could create screenshots. I sent the link to someone else. In a way, I was like your wingman. Yeah. I was sending the link to people in the background going, I know you can't read this, but here's mine. Come in now. Here's the link. Please come in. Here's a screenshot to see if you can get your avatar to work. I was doing some of the back channel work because I didn't have to look at the screen. This is why I love it. This is separate to the fact that I hate shaving. I just don't want to have to look at the screen all the time.
And let me tell you, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw comments coming through the thread where people have a newfound appreciation for social audio versus on-camera experiences. So we may have preached enough to convert a few more people to social audio opposed to a live on-camera experience.
Anyway, I'm going to let you go because I know it's tiring. It's very late at night. I'm just getting started. The sun is shining, and I'm going to go and talk to the rooster. Actually, probably the magpies. But, mate, you have been... Oh, shut up. You have been so good for this, and you're an example of what we're doing here. You're in Toronto. I'm in Melbourne. There's people here from Seattle. There's other mates of mine from Melbourne. There's people here in New Zealand and Ireland. South America, we're creating miracles.
Yeah, it's a fantastic experience, and it's so rewarding. I'm going to play some closing music. I'm going to put on a little groovy funk disco-ish type of genre to set us off, and we'll shut the room off. Feel free to stay in the green room if you want to chat afterwards. Thank you, everyone, and until next time.